Hey, my name is Tyler Miller, and I'm studying for the Series 65 and just going over a few things here. Wanted to sort of start a conversation with you guys on YouTube. Maybe some of you guys are studying, and maybe you guys are just nerds. But the leading indicator, coincidental indicator, and lagging indicator difference. Sometimes when I'm studying, my mind has to just, like a hammer, just grind things into my brain and kind of try to get them close to real world, but not overstudy it to the point where, some things you can get too deep on, and to be honest, my ultimate goal is to pass a test. So I want to start with these leading indicators because I think these ones are easy to get, and I think that since it's a leading indicator, it's what the media focuses on, and I think that what Peter Schiff tries to do is look at the underlying situation that the media tries to not focus on, or it's not a hot thing for them to talk about, really. The first thing, and they say this is designed to predict economic activity 3 to 12 months in the future. 3 to 12 months. So if these are doing good, you can kind of plan for 3 to 12 months, is what they're saying. But I don't know if anybody these days can really do that. And anyway, the date today, just so you know, I think it says on YouTube, but is January. It's like January 29th or something like that, 2015. So the S&P 500, a leading economic indicator. I think that is obvious, and it's clear that everybody focuses on that. Building permits. Now, building permits sort of makes sense because it's 3 to 12 months in the future. So if you are leasing a permit, then you assume that person is going to be doing some kind of economic work for the next 3 to 12 months at least. And the average manufacturing workers work week. Average manufacturing workers work week. Well, manufacturing, I think, that one's a little bit deeper than the other ones, but I think that the workers' work week is just saying that it's leading because like if you go from working 20 hours a week to working 30 hours a week, then you're having more business. But this all being said, like, let's talk about building permits. If the Fed is giving money to the banks to loan, or they're forcing them to loan, as they've been wont to do, or kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth, where one entity wants to regulate them to make loans, one entity wants to make sure they're making good loans. If there are a bunch of people who just say, yeah, I'm going to start that coffee shop, and they go out in 3 to 12 months, and then I'm just talking about where Peter Schiff is coming from. You can keep, for a period of time, when you have enough money to burn in an economy, when you have enough wealth to burn, you can keep recycling these things. You can pump the S&P up. You can, as they do now, buy bank debt so the banks could keep making loans, and those loans go to the S&P 500. So this video is not too long. I'll go to the coincidental indicators. No, I'll stick on the leading indicators. I'll make a different video with the coincidental indicators, because there's another one here. There's a couple, but I think that these are important. Initial jobless claims. That one's pretty obvious. Somebody who's jobless is not going to get a job most likely for the next couple weeks at least, and even when they do get a job, it's going to take them a little while to adjust and to add value to that company that adds value to the economy. So that would be an economic indicator in the bad direction. So a leading economic indicator, that can either be, the economy is projected for the next 3 to 12 months to do great, or projected to see a little turbulence during the next couple months. Vendor performance, I don't really know what they mean by vendor, but I mean performance would be pretty obvious if that comes up. But those ones that I've already, those initial four: average manufacturing workers work week, building permits, S&P 500, initial jobless claims, those are all ones that are likely going to be on the test, but I'll just give you the other ones just so you know them. Inflation adjusted measure of money supply, consumer sentiment index, interest rate spread between 10-year Treasury note and the federal funds rate, manufacturers' new orders for non-defense capital goods, manufacturers' new orders for consumer goods and material. I think those are pretty obvious. New orders, performance, jobless claims, consumer sentiment, the interest rate spread. That one's interesting. But like in 2008, we had an inverted graph of what you would typically expect. Typically, if you invest longer, you'd expect to get more interest over time. In 2008, we had an inverted yield curve, is what it's technically called, and that might be on the test, where they had a higher short-term rates. So like a 3-month T-bill was higher than and I think I should learn what those are, but it was higher than the longer-term ones. And so it's really rare, but when funky stuff happens with the economy, it can happen, and that's called an inverted yield curve. But I went over all of them here. So there's 10 of them, and I will go on to the coincidental. I'll probably nail the coincidental indicators and the lag indicators in one video. So this already went on longer than I thought, but there's some counterintuitive ones, and I'm just mulling it over with you guys. This is my first video. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, bye.